Talk. Hi, everyone. My name is Ingrid. Welcome to the YouTube channel of 51 Talk. We're already in the middle of April, and can you feel it? My goodness, summer is totally here. Outdoor recreation may be limited this year, but there's still so many ways to have fun while you're at home. So you may find a new hobby, learn a new skill, or better, take a new and exciting opportunity. So I'm so glad that you're here because that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, please hit that subscribe button. Sound off in the comments. I'd love to know who's watching today. I was on the chat box earlier and I'm seeing a lot of the early birds. So I'm happy to see the early birds who have been waiting for this webinar. Type a heart emoji if you're ready for today's webinar. If you're ready to learn, add to your knowledge, and improve your skills as well. So let me just see who's here. Please type a heart emoji. Of course, we have Earl. There's also teacher Aya Jane from Phoebe Caloocan Bisc. We have Ivan Rhodes, Emily Johnson, of course. So nice that you guys are here again to join and to watch and learn. We, of course, have Eve Barrios. Hi as well to Marie, Carmela Sare, Richelle Dulay, who's watching from Quezon Province kahit not feeling so well, fighting. Well, the good thing about these learning opportunities that we have here at 51 Talk is that you can still learn. You don't have to leave your home. You can just watch us through your phone, your mobile devices, through your computer, and just keep adding to your knowledge. We also have, ay, ang bilis na ng chat. Okay, we have Gerald Bonustro, Gerald from Bulacan. Hi there. We also have Marie. There's Marie G, Jess Borillo, and Richelda Dulay. I'm seeing a lot of hearts. Thank you. Yellow hearts, red hearts, pink hearts, whatever the color of your heart is. You are so welcome to join us this afternoon. Philip Maala is also here. Angeline Lalas and Mazzy Keen. Ang unique naman ng name mo, Mazzy Keen Morning Star. I love it. So it's been a year since a lot of us lost our sources of income. Some had to quit their jobs. Great thing, as the heat turns up, thousands of cool and exciting remote work opportunities are also turning up. One of which is online English teaching. Still, landing a new job is not that easy. So your first challenge, of course, is acing that job interview. So whether you're doing it face to face or over the phone, job interviews can still be quite scary, especially for those who, it's been a while since you last had your job interview, right? Maybe some of you have been working for 5 years, maybe 10 years, and you're trying to recall, oh my goodness, what did I do in my last job interview? How did I conduct myself? Kasi syempre, no, as you add years and experience to your life and then you go on your next job interview, it will cause you to be nervous, right? So how do you talk about your new opportunities or your new knowledge without sounding so obnoxious, right? Or what if sometimes you feel insecure, right? So don't worry, in today's webinar, we'll learn the do's and don'ts, how you can prepare for, and the best ways to answer interview questions so you can finally land that dream profession that you've been waiting for. So this is something that I teach also when finishing school, so my image consulting sessions. And of course, I too have learned a lot from my past experience and even my mishaps of applying for work. So now let me just quickly get into this. So let's start with that journey. A lot of us here have gone through so many initial interviews, I'm sure. So now I want to ask you, what was the hardest question you ever had to answer? So, let's do a little throwback, maybe 2-3 years ago, or maybe your first ever job interview. And you remember that hardest question that you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so stumped. I don't know how to answer this. Maybe back then you were not able to answer it, but after a few years, parang, oops, oh, I should have answered it this way. So please share with us. I would love to know, what was the hardest question you ever had to answer? So let me know in the chat box. I'll be waiting for your answers. What was the hardest question you ever had to answer? Let's see, are we getting some activity here? What was the hardest question you ever had to answer? So just recall any of your past job interviews, and maybe after the job interview you figured out, oh, I was supposed to answer it that I was supposed to answer it this way when I was asked. And sometimes kasi no, I don't know if you've been in similar situations wherein they'll ask you a question and it's like, okay, I know how to answer this, but you get mental block, right? It's like, okay, I don't know how to express myself or to gather my thoughts for this one. So, Irene says, why do we need to hire you? So that was tough for her. Eve says, how much salary do you expect? Marie says, are you willing to work for overtime without pay, even on the weekends? Nako, that is a tough question nga. Parang trap, no? Parang you're thinking, okay, are they testing if I'm willing to go this far for the company, or ito ba talaga yung work environment? Is this the work culture here? Right? So you're kind of stumped. So we have here Mazzy Keen who says, tell me something about yourself. Hindi pala kilala bigla ang sarili. Yeah, we'll cover something. We'll cover something along that line later on. And then Richelda says, what is your long-term and short-term goals in life? Okay. And Juan Rinaldo says, what's something that you didn't like about your last job? And then Eve says, why should we not hire you naman? Okay, that's another trick question. Maria Castillo says, what is your weakness? And then, let's just see, Okay, some of them are repeat questions here. Gerald Bonostro says, why do you deserve the position? Something like that. Ay, oo. Aya Jane says, okay, I think I read this one earlier. Marco, yeah, why should we hire you? So yeah, thank you so much for sharing some of your toughest questions. Yan, yung mga how do you handle or respond to stress or pressure? Why did you leave your last job? Right? So for me, if I were to share, the most difficult was, are you willing to get sued for the case of the company? For me, that was difficult because it put me in a position wherein, oops, hold on parang this is kind of different from what I've researched about the company online. So just to give you a backstory, when I was applying for some jobs in the past, I got an interview for this burgeoning media outfit. So it looked very promising at first. Parang ang dami-dami niyang opportunities, like when you talk to when I was talking to the interviewer, parang, uy, I really want to work for this company. But when he asked me that question, I was like, okay, where is this going? So when I was told that part of what I would be doing is writing fake news, and I was asked that question, whether I'm willing to get sued for the company, there was definitely a disconnect. So that's just something I wanted to share, at least for my personal experience. So I'm looking forward to also seeing your stories. I'd love to know what were some of the toughest situations or the toughest job interview questions that you also had to go through. So keep those chats coming and stay tuned. We'll try to answer some of those questions later on. And I will also be teaching you some techniques. Now, before we jump into the discussion, who wants to win 200 peso Grab Food vouchers? Yes, we're giving away 200 peso Grab Food vouchers right now. So please give this video a big thumbs up, everybody. To qualify, all you have to do is click subscribe, hit the notification bell beside it, and answer the question by typing them in the chat box as fast as you can. So for the first round, get this, we will be selecting 3 winners. Is everybody ready? Ready? Let's see who has the fastest fingers. Get ready. Here's the first question. Eyes on the screen. Online video interviews typically last anywhere from 30 minutes to 1 hour. Is this true or false? Online video interviews typically last anywhere from 30 minutes to 1 hour. Is this true or false? Fastest fingers, everybody. Will be selecting 3 winners of 200 peso Grab Food vouchers. I'm looking at your responses. Come on. Dami nag-say ng B, true, false. Oh, it's a mix. Interesting. Emily says A. Angeline says ready. Oh, ready na mag-answer. Come on, fastest fingers. Keep it going, keep it going. So yes, again, online video interviews typically last anywhere from 30 minutes to 1 hour. Is this true or is it false? I think we have enough. Team, let me just know if we have enough entries for our winners because we'll be picking out 3 winners for this one. However, everyone, okay, I will be announcing the names of the winners later on kasi marami pa tayo. So there's so many chances for you to join in. That's why I told you kanina when I was early as well, I told you, you better take down notes because those who are really attentive will be able to answer the questions we'll be throwing around later on, okay? So we now have winners. So again, stay tuned until the end of the webinar. So the answer for this, what's the answer? The answer is false. So that's letter B, false. Online video interviews typically last from 15 minutes. Can you believe that? 15 minutes to 1.5 hours. So like the traditional face-to-face interviews, online interviews will gauge if you can answer and react to different questions. However, you'll never know how short or how long it will be. So preparation is always key. So congratulations to our first 3 lucky winners. Again, we will announce the winners later on. So we also will be having another round. So please stay tuned. Also, don't forget to click subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up. We're on Facebook too. So make sure that you hit like and see first if you haven't already. And follow us as well on Instagram and Twitter. We're at 51talkph. So if everybody's ready, you don't have a hangover anymore from the first icebreaker question. That's just the first. Again, don't you worry. We'll have lots of chances later on. If everyone's ready, let's begin today's webinar. I'll just share my screen really quick. Okay. So for those of you who were here last week, for our webinar, we had speaking skills for effective online communication. So give me a palm emoji. It's like raising your hand. So you can click on, diba sa YouTube, there's that custom emoji, right? So click on that and then look for the palm emoji. Yan, may assignment ako sa inyo, ha? So yes, give me a palm emoji in the chat box now. If you were here last week, if you were among our live audience, or if you got to catch it a little bit later, that's okay as well. So if you were in the last webinar, I congratulate you for also being here today because that means you want to keep on learning, you want to upgrade your knowledge, and you know, I absolutely love people like that. Because the moment that you tell yourself that, oh, you know what, I'm good. There's nothing much more that I can learn. I already know enough. I'm at the height of my knowledge. So that's when your down spiral begins. Why? Because every day, new things are discovered. There are new innovations. And just like our phone applications that constantly need updates, we too have to update our knowledge. So kunwari from Ingrid 1.0, we go to Ingrid 2.0, yung mga ganon, right? So there are constant updates and yung mga bug fixes, right? So now, let's do a quick recap of what we learned last week. So we talked about verbal and nonverbal elements that are key to effective communication. First, we touched on how you sound. So that's the verbal element. So we have your tone, how you say it, the way you deliver your message using your voice, including the emotions that are conveyed. We also have pitch, which is yung low, medium, and high range, which you can explore and exercise just so you can create more interest and dynamism in your voice. There's also volume, how loud or soft your voice is, the importance of knowing to control your volume and finding the right balance, especially when you're doing your online meetings and your classes. You don't want to be screaming at those you're meeting with. You don't want to be screaming at your students, right? And you want to make sure, syempre, that you're heard by them, that you're audible, right? Next, we have projection, your voice projection, emphasis in tone, how you throw your voice or project your voice. Next, we also covered breathing and pacing. Breathing gives your voice energy. So when you talk so fast and you run out of breath, you come off as hurried, you're unclear. Sometimes you eat your words, di ba? Parang you stumble over the words that you mention or you say because parang you just want to get things over and done with. So breathing and pacing is very important. It's important that you learn how to manage and maximize your voice. Know its You have to know its current state. What are the things you need to work on? Is it your volume? Is it your pacing? Do people often tell you, "Ay nako, your voice is so irritating." Have you discovered what it is that makes it irritating? Is it your pitch or it could be your tone? Okay? Next, we also discussed the nonverbal elements that are at play, especially when you appear on screen. So we have eye contact, right? So we talked about where should you look? What do your eyes convey? They convey sincerity. So we also talked about your facial expressions, which you have to be aware of because you may unknowingly be rolling your eyes while someone is discussing and they see you do that. If they see you do that, it looks rude, it's disrespectful, and it's also very distracting, right? And then we also covered posture, gestures, and of course, your body language and your physical appearance. These are very important nonverbal elements. Next, we also discussed some do's and don'ts. So ensure that you check your equipment, your workspace, your audio, your camera. So we also talked about avoiding habits like this one, fidgeting with your earphones, fidgeting with your microphone. And then, speaking of microphone, don't breathe into your microphone because the sound can be very distracting. Don't go Darth Vader on your students or the people that you're meeting with. It can be very distracting, or 'di ba, if they're using their headphones, it could really be, yeah, it could really be irritating as well. Okay? So today, that was just a quick review of what we covered last week. So now let's delve into online interviews. How do you prepare for your online interviews? First off, why would you get why would you get an online interview? So does this just happen at random? Does someone just come across your number or your email and then they just decide to call you on the spot? Oh, I better call this person for an interview. Parang yung naka-post lang sa sa electric post, right? Does it happen that way? Of course, it starts with you applying for a job. So either that or somebody refers you for a position or you get headhunted. So for example, if you've been actively applying for work, you've sent out applications, and then you don't know when exactly they're going to get back to you. So you always have to be ready. Knowing that you've actively been applying, you have to have that mindset that at any given time, you may get a phone call from a recruiter. So why am I stressing this? Because you have to mind your you have to mind your phone manners. Okay, so that's the first of our do's and don'ts for today. I know it's sometimes common for us to get random numbers calling you up. You don't know who's on the other end. It could be a wrong number, it could be a random stranger, somebody selling you something, or it could be your Lazada or Shopee delivery rider. It could be or but then it could also be any of the recruiters from the companies that you applied for. So when you answer your phone, remember to be pleasant. Remember your verbal elements, which we reviewed earlier. It would be much better, of course, if you get a text message first from the same number asking if you're available to take a call. Because let's be real, right? So while you're expecting a call, sometimes you might be doing something. You might be taking a bath. You might be in the bathroom, you might be cooking, or you might be taking care of your kids. So sana nga, it's really nice, it's really ideal if you get a text message first and asking if you're available for a call. So that's how it should be. But then there are a lot of instances when there will be people who will just ambush call you. So maganda na yung prepared ka lagi. So you just, answer the phone. Hello, good morning, good afternoon. It doesn't have to be a really long spiel, just a pleasant greeting, because the person on the other end of the line will also have to answer you, introduce themselves to you, and of course, very key, mention the reason for the call. So again, keep it short, simple. So there, keep it short and simple, but smile. Okay, so minsan kasi we forget, right? When we answer, maybe when we're doing so many things, when we answer the phone, what do we do? Hello. Or we just say hello, right? And then when the person on the other end of the line introduces themselves as, okay, I'm a recruiter from this company, biglang magta-transform yung boses mo and then your countenance, right? So you always have to be prepared. You won't go wrong naman if you're pleasant, if you keep it professional, right? So even if it's your friend pala who's calling you, then diba, it's okay. At least you greeted her well, and yeah, you greeted her well and you were still professional. Next tip, prepare to share basic information about yourself. So the initial interview begins. This is very crucial because there's still no video yet. So it's just your audio, how you converse, how you comprehend, or even how you pick up questions. These also gauge how you're able to collect and verbalize your thoughts. So usually they ask you basic questions about yourself. So your personal and work information may already be on your CV or your resume, but this is also an opportunity for you to sell yourself more. Yeah, to market yourself more as a candidate. You're like bringing your resume to life. So what are the basic things that you must have a ready spiel for? So that would be your name, your age, your civil status, if you have children, your educational background, if you have licenses or certification, and then be ready to also talk a little bit about your work experience. Okay, so I hope that you got that. And then the third is be ready to answer why you applied for the position. So you may be asked that one, what made you interested? So you must know your reason why you applied for the post. Avoid saying, wala, nakita ko lang siya online. That's a no-no. Nakita ko lang sa friend ko, so I just tried it. While that may be true, you just saw it while you were randomly scrolling social media, or you saw your friend post about it. It's not it's communicating that you were just bored, so you thought that you just try it out. So there is a way to craft your answers without sounding lazy or bored. Remember, there has to be genuine interest. That's why you applied. You send in your application for a post because you know that you have the qualifications that you're looking for. So know your reason why you applied. So maybe a sample would be like for 5 on Talk, I saw that 5 on Talk is looking for online English teachers who were home-based. So the idea of earning a livelihood from home is, it's truly an attractive opportunity, especially with the situation we have now. And you also have to be honest. Kunwari, you were laid off from your company. I was laid off from my company because they had to cut costs due to the effects of COVID-19. I enjoy working, and I have to continue earning because I'm supporting myself and my family. So I've been actively seeking opportunities where I can make use of my skills, my experience, and of course, add to my knowledge. And thank you. Ayan na, pasok ka na sa top 20. Of course, this is not a beauty pageant. So ganun lang, you have to be ready with your skills, and you can even get creative. So naman that this is just these are just the ayun nga, parang you have this outline of what you will be talking about, and maybe you have different recruiters calling you up. You can play around, you can get creative as to how you will be delivering your reason for applying for certain posts. So again, the key here is you practice and you know your reason as to why you applied for the position. Okay, if you're still ready to learn, let's get to the next tip. Have the information on your tech equipment ready. So in the context of applying for online opportunities, it's a must that you check if you have your equipment ready to carry out the online job even before the call. Why? Because it may come up in the job interview. So for those of you watching and you're thinking of applying at 5-on-Talk, we have the information about this on the website. So that's www.5ontalk.ph. And we also have tons of videos on our YouTube channel of the things that you need to prepare if you're going to apply for 5-on-Talk. So just really quick, everybody, if you're still listening, like I said, you have to be attentive. You have to be taking down notes. I'm going to throw a question. You can win GrabFood GCs if you get this right. So the question is flashing right now. What equipment do you need to have if you want to become an online English teacher at 5-1 Talk? Comment your answers now. What equipment do you need to have if you want to become an online English teacher at 5-1 Talk? Fastest fingers, everybody! Actually, there are clues on screen. O, yun na lang ah. So, that's all I'm saying. They're clues. But everything you can find on the 5-1 Talk website. So, what equipment do you need if you want to become an online English teacher at 5-1 Talk? Comment your answers. Ayan na. Fast fingers. Keep it coming, guys. So we have Reina. She says headset, camera, laptop. Anna Helena says laptop. Okay, desktop. P Drone says laptop, PC, webcam, ISP. Okay, keep those answers coming. This is nice. Oh, sabi ni Sherik, laptop, internet, camera, headset, microphone, and self. Yes, tech equipment yung, yeah, who will operate all of that? Of course, you have to be present, right? Next. Okay. Laptop, microphone, camera, headset. GG says, GG channel, at least core i3 laptop, LAN cable, HD webcam, headset with noise cancelling feature. Okay, very good. Claire, highly efficient tools, a laptop or desktop with HD camera, a headset with noise cancelling feature, and a stable internet connection. Of course, if it's an online job, kailangan ng internet connection, everybody, di ba? So don't miss that detail. So that's just one of those. Okay, I think we have enough entries for this discussion question. So the correct answer is you have to have your laptop or desktop computer wired internet connection with speed of at least 5 Mbps, noise cancelling headset, yeah, with the noise cancelling feature, that's correct, with the microphone, your HD webcam, and of course, steady power supply. Okay? So thank you for those answers. I love the activity on our chat box right now. So part of your preparation is to check, do you have the technical requirements and equipment that you need? Is it, do you have a laptop or is it a desktop computer? Ito bang computer mo? Is it online work ready? Do you need to do some upgrades on your RAM, your processor? Baka naman you need to also free up your disk space because some programs, of course, to be able to run the online programs and apps, they require this disk space. There you go. Of course, your webcam is needed. Your internet connection. You also have to know kung ilang Mbps siya. Is it wired? Of course, it has to be wired. Or are you using Wi-Fi? Do you have a noise cancelling headset? And do you have a quiet and distraction-free teaching space? So it's very important that you check all these even before you expect the call, because if they ask you to the phone call and then you're scrambling to check pa, miss, wait, I'm going to check my computer's processor. Sir, wait, I'll check the speed of our internet. Hi, you know what will that communicate? You did not do your research on what is needed for the online job or for that opportunity. Okay? Next question, everybody. Next discussion question, what are the basic information about yourself that you must be ready to talk about? What are the basic things what are the basic information about yourself that you must be ready to talk about? These are common, okay? So just type it in the chat box. And for this one, we'll be having a winner again for the 200 peso Grab Food GCs. What are the basic information about yourself that you must be ready to talk about? So we're still seeing some answers for the first discussion question. We're already on discussion question number 2. What are the basic information about yourself that you must be ready to talk about? Type in your answers now in the chat box. So AD says, of course, your name. Naku naman, everyone, do not forget your name. It's very important. Your name, your age, civil status, educational background. Okay, that's good. Gigi says, name status. Why do you choose to apply at 5 on Talk? Get ready to talk about your previous job. All right, that's also good. And then Romel says, personal info, work experience. Keep them coming. Basic information about yourself that you must be ready to talk about. So now I think we have a winner. We have enough entries for our winner. Again, stay tuned, everybody, because we're announcing the names of the winners later on in the show. Okay, so before we get to the second part, we're feeling very generous today. So back to back. So we just gave you these. We just gave you this second discussion question. Now, as you plan to start your teaching opportunity, we encourage you, of course, to check out www.51talk.ph if you want to try out as an online English teacher. And so for the first part, those were very helpful tips. So now let's take a quick break and then let's see who's watching. We still have Aya Jane, there's Reina, we have Emily Johnson, there's Gigi Channel. Let me just scroll up a little bit. Reselin, and we have Jenny Olasiman, as well as Ivan Rhodes. Okay, so let's take a quick breather. Here's another chance for you to win a 200 peso Grab Food voucher question. So give this video a big thumbs up right now. If you're still active, if you're still listening, I don't want you to be sleeping, everybody. Wag matulog. I know that this is usually siesta time, but we're learning right now. It's a learning session now. So if you're still alive, give this video a big thumbs up. Again, to qualify, click subscribe, hit the notification bell beside it, and answer the question by typing them in the chat box as fast as you can. So let's see who has the fastest fingers this time. The next question we have, you should not cross your arms over your chest during an interview. Is this true or false? You should not cross your arms over your chest during an interview. Is this true or false? Let us know in the comment section. Or the live chat box, I mean. Ayowi Kanzaki says, yes, I'm listening. Good to know. Eve Barrios, okay, the thumbs up. Thank you, everybody. So this is your cue for our icebreaker question. You should not cross your arms over your chest during an interview. Is this true or is this false? True or false? True or false? Thumbs up, true. We also have false. Emily says, very, very true. A lot of the answers say true with your other emojis pa. So do we have enough answers? Yes, we do. All right, we have a winner. We've selected a winner. Okay, so the correct answer is true. Crossing your arms over your chest, it might be a common mannerism, but yeah, it's common when you're nervous or feeling stressed. Now, keep your arms by your side to show that you're giving an open impression to your interviewer. And if you find that you're beginning to fidget or move around, keep your hands on your lap. So it's important to stay present during an interview, especially during video interviews. Okay, so congratulations to our first 3 lucky winners. We will be announcing the winners' names later on, so please stay tuned. So now, are you ready to start a home-based online opportunity? As you plan to start your teaching journey, remember that your choice of platform to teach in can make a huge difference. So for 10 years and counting, 5 on Talk is the best and the biggest online EFL teaching platform. So we offer our teachers awesome perks such as higher earnings, more training opportunities like this one, and a lot more. We also have a flexible schedule, among other things. If you sign up this April, you can win over 200,000 pesos worth of new gadgets and teaching tools. So click on the link in the description box, go down to your YouTube, just scroll down a little bit, and then you will see the link in the description box so that you can sign up this April. So there you go. Let's continue. If everybody's ready, I'll start sharing my screen quickly again. So time check, it is 2:35. Okay, so how to ace your online interview. We're now gonna get to, so first we discussed the phone interview. Now we have the video interview. So for the phone interview, it's very important that you're pleasant, you remember your phone manners, and you sound good. Your voice has to make a good impression. Now, say for example, you pass that stage and then the recruiter or the company is so interested, they really want to meet you in person. Hindi nga pwede yung face-to-face at the moment because of what we have. But yeah, there's a lot of online interviews via Zoom, via Skype. So if you remember what we also discussed last week about the nonverbal elements, as well as your work from home space, this time you will be on camera with an interviewer. So what are the things you need to get ready for this one? You need to check your equipment. So ensure that your camera is working well, that you have good lighting, that illuminates your face, you don't look scary to your interviewer, and that you have a quiet space and your audio equipment is working well. So test your microphone and your headphones. You don't want to be adjusting things, your audio equipment at the exact time of the interview. Like imagine this, your interviewer is already asking you questions. Tapos adjust ka pa ng adjust dyan, ina-adjust mo yung volume, you can't be heard and all that. So prior to the interview, check your equipment. Check also if you have good internet connection. In the event that your internet connection conks out all of a sudden during the interview, if you don't have any control over it, do get in touch with the recruiter or interviewer the soonest that you can, and just explain the situation to them, and then ask if you can reschedule the interview just because you had that internet connection problem, which is beyond your control. So in the online and remote work environment we're living in now, an internet connection is a lifeline. So you know what, I include this in my prayers. I mean, as simple as it sounds, apart from praying from protection from the virus and having, a good source of income during the pandemic, pray for good and sturdy internet connection because our work and online classes depend on it. Okay? The next one is your self-presentation. Just because the interview is being done online and you're just at home, it doesn't mean that you don't dress up for it like you should. So you should still prepare your appearance just like you would for an online face-to-face interview. So take note of these. Fix and comb your hair. Avoid the I just rolled out of bed look. Okay? So if your interview is scheduled in the morning, make sure that you wake up early and you prepare. Mag-breakfast na please. Okay? Have your coffee na. Hindi yung pagka-turn on ng camera tsaka ka palang parang, okay, you look sleepy. Right? It doesn't look that you're ready for the interview. It doesn't look like you prepared. Okay? Next, for the ladies, a simple tip is that you wear some makeup that will help define your features. It doesn't have to be photo shoot level or video shoot level of makeup. Just enough that would, of course, make your face come alive. That's why also, diba, I told you, you have to check also your camera. You have to check if your camera and your lighting tends to wash you out. So maybe there are some features of your face that you need to define. So groom your brows. And for both the ladies and gents, put on a little bit of cologne. So even if your interviewer won't be able to smell it, it will help psych you and give you that mindset that, okay, I'm applying for a job and I'll be going on an online interview now. Okay? So these are just simple tips to help you get ready. Next, your interview environment. So you have to inform You have to inform your family that you will be having an online interview and that you would greatly appreciate it if they don't interrupt you during this time. So if you must lock the door of your room just because you don't want somebody barging in all of a sudden without shirt or without underpants, and then you're having this online interview, or you don't want somebody to just barge in and then scream out your name, maghugas ka na ng pinggan, right? You don't want that. So yeah, you have to ensure that your interview environment is all good, and then inform your family that you will be having this online interview. Okay, so before we jump into our next segment, I want to do a quick quiz again. So, a temperature check of sorts. So, for our third discussion question, what are the three things you need to prepare before your online video interview? What are the three things you need to prepare or ensure before your online interview? So, just sound off in the chat box right now. GG Channel says, lock the door. Yes. Tapos if you need to put a sign, di ba, outside, because sometimes there are people, no? I mean, the door is locked na nga, pero they will still knock, right? So it would help if you put out signs. Currently having a Zoom meeting, currently having an online job interview, just so they would know that, you can't get to the door if they're banging on the door because you're talking to somebody. So An Yong says, check your equipment before online interview. Be presentable during the interview. And of course, you also have to check your interview environment. It must be noise-free and clean. Reina says, check your internet, check your equipment, self-preparation, check your internet, fix yourself, have your meal, or get some coffee. Yes, we already have a winner. Okay, we'll announce the name of the winner later on. So thank you. So yeah, very simply put, the answer for this question, you have to check your equipment, you have to check your self-presentation, and of course, check your interview environment. Okay, so let's get to the next one, preparing for common interview questions. Before we get to the questions, I'll share with you some interview preparation tips. So earlier we did touch a little bit on the importance of knowing your reason for applying, knowing your values. So getting into that, as you prepare for common interview questions, know your values and what you truly believe in. This will help you as you answer questions because you'll be able to give sincere answers for what is true for you. If there's anything an interviewer can sniff when you're answering, it's insincerity. Also, when you copy answers from the internet, when you do your research, it's perfectly okay to, use the internet as a reference. Siguro you're doing your research. Okay, how do I answer this question? But you know what? Personalize it. You can use them as pegs, as examples, but you have to be able to apply them to yourself, which is why you have to know your values and what you truly believe in. Next, have a clear grasp of your strengths, your weaknesses, and your skill sets. I saw this earlier during the start of the program. Some of you were sharing, one of the most difficult questions that I was asked was about the strengths and about the weaknesses. So for you as a person, your personal assignment is to get to know yourself. Have a clear grasp of what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, or skill sets. So when we say weaknesses, if you don't want to use that word, what are those things that you still want to improve about yourself? So let's say, for example, hindi mo strength ang pagfa-follow up, or you're not very good with communication, you're not very good with people skills. So identify that. It's okay. You have to really be honest with yourself. So I'm kind of lacking in this area, and I need a little bit of help here. Because if you know that these are weaknesses or areas for improvement, that's the only time that you can also plan. What do I do so I can strengthen my people skills? What can I do so that I can strengthen my communication skills? Do I need to get a mentor, a coach? Do I need to take up communication classes or speech classes? Right? So it's important that you know these ones because when they ask you also, and when they ask you about your weakness, sometimes they just want to know how self-aware you are and what you're doing now that you know that this is a weak spot for you. Okay, and of course your skill set, you have to know that because if you need to market or you need to sell yourself, you have to know what your skills are. So remember that as humans we have different gifts, talents, expertise, and interests. There are some people who are so excited with data and numbers. There are some who hate computation altogether. And then there are some who are good with negotiation skills, their communication. And yeah, so you have to know these ones about yourself. And then don't get into the trap of comparison. Okay, so my office mate before, ang galing niya sa ganito. You can use it as inspiration, but don't set it as a bar na parang you use this person as a way for you na okay, I must topple this person's skill just to know that I'm really good. Okay? So avoid getting into that comparison trap. Okay? So that's tip. And then another one, as you prepare for interview questions. Yeah, this is the next segment. So as you prepare for common interview questions, what would also really help you is that you read and listen to educational material that will help in your growth and increase your knowledge. Okay, so a lot of us, we spend so much time on social media. How many hours do you spend just mindlessly scrolling through your news feed? It's a common habit that we're all guilty of. But I want you from today, you set a limit. Okay, so kunwari 1 hour in the morning, sige, magsuscroll ako on social media. But you also have to be strict with yourself. If you really want to improve, if you want to build into your knowledge and skills, then spend some time, read and listen to educational material that will help in your growth and interact with it as well. So, try to remember the principles of how you do the reflection paper in school, right? So your teacher will make you read something and you have to react or you have to reflect on it. You can still do that up until today. Of course, it won't be graded, but it's a very good practice. It's a very good skill that you can do because it's going to help you also. It's going to, aside from feeding into your knowledge, strengthening what you know, adding to what you already have, yun nga, mag interact ka rin. So why do I agree or disagree with this article? What did this new knowledge, what does this new research, how does this make me feel? How does it challenge what I presently know? So these ones, if you do this also sharpens kasi your critical thinking. And it also, of course, causes you to be humble, right? Because we can't always be saying, I already know everything. So the more that you research, the more that you read, the more that you interact, listen to podcasts. These build into your skills. You may not be mentored by people directly, but if you listen to podcasts of great speakers, it's like they're also feeding into your life. So that adds to your depth also as a person. Okay? So, next tip. So, research on what the job is like. What are the common challenges that arise in the job? What are the possible situations that you can encounter? Okay. So that's when some of the questions would arise. What would you do if you've done all of the necessary preparations and kunwari your student refuses to cooperate? How would you handle that? How would you handle a student who always just wants to play with you and not focus on the question? So if you have an idea of the common challenges of what the job entails, then you would be able to prepare yourself to answer simulation questions like that. Okay? Next tip, rehearse and record yourself. Practice with a person that you trust. To help lessen your nervousness, part of your preparation is to rehearse and record yourself. How will this tip help? If you remember our last webinar, I mentioned that when you want to see the areas you want to improve in, it will help if you record yourself because there are sometimes some habits or we don't know how we sound. Sometimes we think, okay, I sound annoying or I think that my voice is too loud. Pero when you record pala yourself, your volume is fine. Sometimes kasi we get too self-conscious. So record yourself. record your voice, record how you conduct yourself on camera, and then get to practice with somebody you trust. You can call up a friend, maybe call up your mentor and say, "Can I do a Skype rehearsal with you or a Zoom rehearsal? Just ask me these questions. And please, honestly, give me feedback as to how I sound, how I conduct myself in front of the camera." So yeah, that's part of your interview preparations, and it's nice that you really practice with somebody you trust because they'd be able to give you honest feedback that will feed into your improvement and your readiness for your next job. Okay, so that's it for the common interview questions preparation. So let's do a quick recap. So know your values, what you truly believe in. How will this help you as you prepare? You get to reflect more on the questions. Okay, so you would know you know yourself as a person. How do I react to this? Why do I like this, or why do I believe in this or not? Okay, so you have to know your core values, have a clear grasp of your strengths, your weaknesses, as well as your skill sets. Read and listen to educational material that will help in your growth and increase your knowledge. And of course, research on what the job is like. So take note of the common challenges. What are the possible situations you can encounter? Okay, so is everyone still attentive? We're seeing a lot of hearts, thumbs up, and the palm emoji. Parang raising your hand. Very good. Because you're raising your hand. Oh, yan. Ito pa pala. Rehearse and record yourself. Yes, that of course is an important tip. And then practice with the person that you trust. Discussion question. I made it easy now. We did a review. What are some preparation tips that will help you get ready and more confident for your online interviews? Let me know in the chat box right now. This is a chance for you to win 200 peso grab food GCs. Again, our next discussion question: what are some preparation tips that will help you get ready and more confident in your online interviews? Let me know in the chat box. We see thumbs up. What are some preparation tips that will help you get ready and more confident in your online interviews? Yes, know your values, says A. Jane, have a clear grasp, clear and read and listen, research about what the job is like, and rehearse with somebody you trust. Rehearse yourself just like recording yourself. Okay? Sarah says, know your values and what you truly believe in. Have a clear grasp of your strengths, weaknesses, and skill sets. Read and listen to educational material. Very good. O, diba? Dali, I gave you a quick review. Okay, so we have a winner now. We'll announce the name of the winner for this discussion question later on. So know your values, your strengths, weaknesses, rehearse and record yourself, and then of course, don't forget your research. So thank you so much for your answers. Please stay tuned until the end of the webinar because we'll be announcing the names of all our winners. I hope that you're excited. Okay, so at this point, somebody will be joining me in this webinar. So before we announce your winners, I have here with me teacher Shirey Win. She's one of our 5-1 Talk content creators, and I just wanted her to come on and share her interview experience. She just recently celebrated her first year with 5-1 Talk. So I just want to welcome teacher Shirey Win. Hello.
Hi, Miss Ingrid. Hello, teachers, and hello, future teachers. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Shirey. It's so nice to hear your energy and your sweet voice today.
Thank
So
you, Miss
yeah,
Ingrid.
thank you so much for joining us. So like I said, Shirey just recently celebrated her anniversary with 5-1 Talk. So today we'll do a little throwback. So we'll simulate the interview later on. But Shirey, can you share with us your 5-1 Talk interview experience a year ago? So what was it like?
So my application went very smoothly. I really liked how systematic the process is. There is a clear step by step process, and the instructions in every step were very clear. We were fully informed of what we need to do, what we need to submit, and where
Mm-hmm.
we are heading to next. The process is really fast. I actually received a call. I think that was about 2 hours after I signed up.
2 hours after you signed up.
Yes.
So you didn't expect na ganun kabilis, Teacher
I
Shirey.
didn't. So I was really shocked because I wasn't able to set a schedule for my interview when I
Mm-hmm.
signed up. So I was planning to do it some other time. So I wasn't really expecting a call that day. But the good thing is the interviewer just asked that I'll be having my interview the next day.
Okay. All right. At least ready ka, di ba?
Yes.
So, Shirey, today we'll do a simulation of the interviews. I'll be asking you some questions, and just answer as confidently as you can with your charm. Okay?
Sure, Miss Ingrid.
Ready? Okay. So, kunwari, I'm calling you now. So, right, it's me. Hi, Shirey. Thank you so much for taking my call today. So, is this your first time to apply at 51 Talk?
Hi, good afternoon. Yes, this is my first time to apply in 51 Talk.
Yes. So, how did you hear about 51 Talk?
I learned about Five and Talk through Facebook. This
Mm-hmm.
one is actually a funny story because I was posting my referral link from my previous ESL company when I
Uh-huh.
happened to see Facebook ads about Five on Talk and some teachers posting about their experiences in the platform. So I read about it and I found it really interesting.
Okay, so why did you decide to switch to 5-1 Talk?
So I decided to switch because I saw that Five on Talk offers more opportunity, especially for me as a newbie in the ESL industry. I saw that I can grow more not just as an ESL teacher, but also as a person. So I also like that I have full control over my schedule. I can open and close my slots anytime that I want.
Okay, so Shairi, now let's talk about your educational background and a bit about your work experience. So Shairi, it says here in your application form, you finished BSBA Financial Management from FEU Makati. So why did you take up this course?
So, I took up this course because it is related to business. My parents are into business, so I decided to take up something in line with what they do. And also, I think that it will help me gain more knowledge in dealing with my finances and improve my financial literacy.
Okay. Thank you for that. Now, you also mentioned here that you're currently a law student. So, from financial management, why did you decide to pursue this track naman in law?
Yes. So I am an incoming third year law student. I decided to take up law because I think being a lawyer opens up more opportunities in the future. And actually, my mom is also currently taking up law. So we entered law school at the same year. We are planning to start up a business in the future once we both become lawyers.
Wow, so this is a different like bonding experience for you and your
Yes.
mom. So do you compare compare
Not really.
notes, compare law
We
notes?
just share our experiences.
Yes, and then you learn from each other.
Mm.
Next, what do you think is the most what is the most important quality a 5-1 talk teacher should have?
Mhm. For me, the most important quality a 5-1 Talk teacher should have is patience. It is very important because we are going to teach a foreign language to the students. So, as we all know, learning a foreign language is very hard. So,
Mm-hmm.
there is a language barrier that makes communication hard for both the teacher and the student. So, there will be some difficulties in explaining things which will really need our patience. And also, we are going to teach mostly to kids. As we all know, kids loves to play around and they
Mm-hmm.
have a very short attention span. So I think a 5-1 Talk teacher should have a very long patience.
That's right. Next question for you, Shairi. What would you say are your strengths that can help you succeed as a 5-1 talk teacher? And also share with me some as well. What are the areas you're looking to improve in yourself?
So I can say that I am patient and I love kids. I actually have two little sisters. I usually play with them and also I help my sister with her studies. I think that this will help me if I become a 5 on talk teacher. Also, I am open for more knowledge because being a teacher is not just teaching students but also being open to learnings as well. Although I can speak English language well, I'm still looking forward to improve my confidence in speaking and also my communication skills.
That's very good. I'm happy to know that you're looking to improve. You're very teachable. My next question for you. Imagine, so how will you handle kids that are not listening, or how will you catch the attention of a kid who's totally not interested in the lesson?
So I will try my best to make the lesson more fun by incorporating some games in the lesson like tic-tac-toe or show and tell. I can also get their attention by showing them my favorite toys or by animating my voice and putting some sound effects using my voice. And it will be great to reward them with yummy treats just like ice creams, burgers, pizza, and sandwiches.
Yes, you make use of the toys that you have, your realia. So, Shairi, I'm very impressed because it seems like you really did your research. It's not just simply, teaching a lesson or module online. You have to get ready with your props. So, I appreciate that about you. Thank you so much, Shairi, teacher Shairi, for that fun simulation. Now, what advice can you give those who are thinking of applying as 5-1 Talk teachers?
So, my advice for those who want to be a 5-1 Talk teacher is first be yourself and be honest. Also, know the reason why you are applying for the job. Knowing your reason will help you keep going and will give you that passion to reach your goal. If you don't have a clear reason, it will be very easy to give up on something. So, second is to prepare and practice. Always remember that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Do your research and watch videos on YouTube. There's a lot of videos on how to prepare for an interview. That's what I did when I was applying. So it's always best to be prepared, not just during the interview, but also during the trainings up until your classes. So another advice I can give is to be lively and try to elaborate your answers to the questions of the interviewer. So another tip I can give is some interviewers also ask some applicants to sing a nursery
Mm-hmm.
rhyme. So better prepare a song to sing. So don't worry, you don't need to have a golden voice. They will just assess your willingness to sing and dance with your students. So that's all. I hope you ace that interview. Good luck, future teachers.
I bet a lot of them were relieved when you said you don't have to have that golden voice.
Yes.
It's helpful if you really are, you're really a singer, right? Or you have a
Yes.
background in musical theater and all that. But yes, because in the nature of the lessons, right? Sometimes you will have to illustrate how words are said. I mean, that's how we learned as kids. Diba? Nursery
Yes.
rhymes, A, B, C. It has to be broken down in the simplest form for them to be
Yes.
able to know it. So thank you very much, Shairi, for your time. Thank you for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you, Miss Ingrid.
Yes, thank you. And we'll see you again. Like I said, she's part of the content creator circle. So if you want to check out, she has videos about 5-1 Talk. So you can find Shairi Win on YouTube. She's also on Facebook and on Instagram. So will you be available if they like ask you some questions through
Sure.
your videos?
Actually, a lot of applicants are already asking me questions. So I am
Okay.
happy to assist them.
Yeah, so that's very good. So yes, go check out her tips also on her channel. Again, thank you very much,
Thank
Teacher
you, Miss
Shairi.
Ingrid. Goodbye.
Bye. So yes, I hope that you all learned from her experience. And yeah, go check out her channels. And then if there are any questions, you can also ask her about her experience. So there you have it. Wow, look at the time. We are done. So it's not as hard as you thought, right? So I hope that the things that we discussed today will help you land your dream profession in no time. So these will come in handy as you start your teaching journey. So I encourage you to just click on the link in the description box below to sign up right now. So when you get that phone or video interview, remember the do's and don'ts. Remember the tips, the preparation tips that we discussed today. So now I want to hear from you. The chat box is open for your questions and insights on the right side of your screen. So we'll be entertaining some questions. Let me just get to them. From Marie G, she says, "Hi, Miss Ingrid. My challenge whenever I have an interview is that I have a very soft voice. How can I speak louder without hurting my voice?" So it for this one, 'di ba? Last week if you were here, we discussed that you have to know yung levels. You have to get to know your voice. Okay, so it's best to prepare your audio settings before the interview. So if you get that feedback, or maybe when you record yourself, it registers really low, so sa audio, then you can do the adjustments. You can also, of course, practice your voice volume to check if it's the right amount of loudness. So if you really need help, then you can do the audio adjustments. But on your end, while you're practicing, if you can level up the volume of your voice, then at least that's what you can do. So improve your voice level, get to know how loud you can go without sounding so annoying. And like I said, diba, you have to record yourself. So when you record yourself, if there's that recording function on Zoom, test when you speak at your loudest voice, does it sound too blaring? Does it pop in the recording? Okay, so that's how you can test it as well. And then get comfortable so you can do some vocal exercises, because if you exert so much effort naman because you want to increase your volume and you're not comfortable with it, it will make your voice shake, right? So you have to constantly practice and work on your voice volume. But for now, say for example, you're gonna get into an interview, play around with your audio equipment to help you get that comfortable audio level that you can be heard and it's not so annoying to the person that you're talking to. And another question, how can I project my voice louder if my surroundings are noisy during an interview? So this is all about preparation. You must take care. You must take care of setting up your equipment in a close and quiet space for you so that you can focus and have your voice be well heard, and it has to be clear when it's time for you to be interviewed. If you don't have a quiet space at home, like we discussed earlier, please inform your family that you will be spending an hour or so for your online interview. If they tend to like put their music on blast, or they get to talk so loud, they shout at each other, just inform them that you would need their support during this time, and the support that they can show you, that they can give you, is to be silent and keep quiet for that duration of your interview. And I think there was a similar question that was also asked last week. So of course it's very helpful if you have your noise canceling headset. And if that doesn't really help, if it's a really noisy environment, there are some apps that you can download right now that can help minimize or flatten the ambient noise, and then your voice will be the one that's just heard. So we're grateful for innovations like that. Next question from Sandra Riddle. My facial expression always comes off as angry because of my blank face. How can I avoid this? So for this one, it's good that you're aware that you have that parang angry expression. So you can avoid this so-called blank face by practicing a variation of facial expressions in front of a mirror. So with this, you will be able to know what specific expression you're wearing during your online meetings. If you get to practice this, you would know, okay, so kind of what facial muscles are at work when I'm smiling. So the more that you get used to it, so you would know, diba? So when you're smiling, ano yung parang points in your face that kind of have that tension? What gets pulled up? Okay, so you just become familiar with it. So this one works for online interviews as well. Next question from Mazzy Keen. I have an interview in a few days, but it's scheduled at 10 p.m. Philippine time. So what's the best way to ask for a reschedule. So for rescheduling, it's not like a capital sin if you ask for a reschedule, but the best way that you can ask is to send them a thank you note for, of course, letting you reschedule. Let them know that you understand that their schedules are busy, and say that you're thankful for their understanding and change of plans. Lastly, you can confirm the date and time of the rescheduled interview in your message. So the key here is you just have to communicate with them. Let them know, okay, so why can't I make it to this 10 p.m. interview? So you find a common time. So when you offer those solutions, kasi it just shows also that you're still interested, plus the fact that you are considerate also of their schedule. So there. Okay? So I think that's it. Hold on, huh? Let me just check. Okay, another question from Gigi. Gigi channel. Filipino teachers lang daw po ba meron sa 5 on Talk? Okay? Or may mga banyaga din po ba nagtuturo sa 5 on Talk? Thank you in advance to 5-1 Talk. So Filipino teachers are prioritized, but everybody is welcome to teach with 5-1 Talk. So all you have to do is just click the link in the description box to get started on your 5-1 Talk journey. Okay, another question. How many more questions? I think this is the last question, no? From Jess. He says, how many days for me to wait after I have my interview? So this is coming from Jess. Okay, so if this one is a question, if this is more like for 5-1 Talk, no, make sure that you schedule your interview on the 5-1 Talk website. Okay, but if you're talking about like for other job opportunities, there may be a little bit of difference because they have different processes. But for 5-1 Talk, there's a function there where you can make sure that you schedule your interview. So just head on to 51talk.ph. So maybe that's also one of the questions that you can ask via email when a recruiter gets in touch with you, or if they get in touch with you via phone, like how long will the process take? So that's a harmless question naman. Okay, so I think that's it for our Q&A this afternoon. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for your questions and for sharing your ideas. To claim your certificate of attendance, click the link in the description box and answer a short questionnaire. So whether you're a 5-1 Talk teacher or not, please join us in the brand new episode of the Yellow Tomorrow Show. It's going live on April 29 next week, April 29, 2021, at exactly 9 p.m. on 5-1 Talks Facebook page. So over 20,000 pesos of amazing prizes await everybody who joins us. So remember, it's free and everybody can join. Again, I'll see you all on April 29 at exactly 9 p.m. on 5-1 Talks Facebook page. Don't forget to hit like. Now, as promised, here are the lucky winners of 200 peso Grab Food GCs. Okay, so for icebreaker 1, the correct answer is false. Our 3 winners are Lori Amber, we have Romel Borgonio, and Pedrone. That's an unusual name, but yeah, welcome, Pedrone. Thanks for joining us. Again, that's Lori Amber, Romel Borgonio, and Pedrone. And of course, we also had our discussion. We had our discussion questions earlier. Winner number 1, equipment needed to become a 5-1 Talk teacher. Our winner is Juan Reynaldo Zara. Winner 2, asked you basic information you must be ready to share during a phone or video interview. Our winner for that is Marie Carmela Sare. And winner number 3, 3 things you need to prepare before any online interview. The winner is Rog Jose. And winner number 4, preparations to get you ready to be more confident. The winner is Mylene Domogma. Congratulations, Mylene Domogma. For our icebreaker 2, like I said, we picked out 3 winners for this one. That the answer for that is true. Our winners are Gerald Bonustro, Savannah Cruz, and how do I say your name? Ayowi Kanzaki. So there, that's Gerald Bonustro, Savannah Cruz, and Ayowi Kanzaki. So to all of our winners, please follow 51talkph on Instagram and send us a DM with your YouTube username, your full name, your email address, delivery address, very important, including your barangay and your active contact number. So the best way to beat the heat is stay home and teach at home. 51Talk has opened 10,000 home-based online teaching opportunities and they're waiting for you. So, and if you sign up this April, you can win over 200,000 pesos worth of new gadgets and teaching tools. All you have to do is click on the link in the description box below now. Okay, so that's it for this afternoon. Thank you so much, everybody, for spending your afternoon with me here on the 51 Talk YouTube channel. Thank you for being a wonderful audience. This has been Ingrid, wishing you good luck in your job opportunities, your online video interviews, and phone interviews as well. And I hope that you learned a lot from this afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Bye.